This video is officially sponsored by Manscaped. Now that the trade deadline has officially come and gone, I think it's time that we can finally start to talk about the next big event that will happen within the NHL, minus the playoffs and obviously free agency and the draft, and that is the expansion draft that will see the Seattle Kraken pick and select their roster going into the next season for their inaugural season. And honestly, this is a video that you guys have been asking me to make in a lot of different times, at a lot of different places. You've been asking me about my thoughts on the expansion draft and what the Jets will do. Now, I'm going to be breaking this down into two parts. This video is going to be why I think the Jets should protect this certain player, the one player that I think most people are talking about, and that is Dylan DeMelo and Logan Stanley. This debate has been going on around the fan base on every social media platform, and every single fan seems to have a different take. There seems to be not a really number one consensus option on what people think the Jets should do when it comes to exposing their defensemen and which defensemen they should expose, because as we know, the Jets are clearly going to go the 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goaltender route of protecting those players, and we obviously know that Connor Hellebuyck is going to be our number 1 goaltender, and when it comes down to our 3 defensemen, that is where it gets interesting, because the offensive side of this, it's a little bit more set in stone on who the Jets are going to protect due to the unrestricted free agencies and whatnot, and I'm going to get into most of that in the next video where we talk about the entirety of the expansion draft and what to expect moving into it. But in this video in particular, I want to talk about why I think, just in general, Dylan DeMelo's play has been sincerely underrated by almost every fan, and even though I am completely on the low gang hype for Logan Stanley, I think that we have to seriously reevaluate where we expect Logan Stanley to be with this club and in his development and whatnot, and look at how each player that we're talking about in this video, what they bring to the team and what benefit they have for a cup winning window now or in the future. Now, before we get too far into this video, I just want to say, if you haven't already, follow all my socials that are down in the description below, my Twitter and Instagram. If you haven't already dropped a follow, definitely do so. Just helps you stay connected and see that when a new type of content is posted and whatnot on the channel. Also, turn on notifications if you haven't already. Notifications really help. You guys get to see the content in the moment it is uploaded, so if you haven't already, turn on notifications. Now, getting back to the video and getting back to this topic, I think we need to really take a look at Logan Stanley, not in particular Logan Stanley, and just talk about how his play has been overall since joining the Jets this season so far. Now, we all know Logan Stanley is a rookie this year. He's kind of the Jets' main rookie this year, if you would have to pick, obviously. And because of that, and let's be real, none of us really expected to see Logan Stanley with the Winnipeg Jets this year. Because if you're a fan of this club, and as a hardcore fan as I am, most of you that are like that, you watch the Moose, or at least familiar with how the Moose the play and the progression of our prospects when they play on the Moose. And let's be honest, Logan Stanley, when he was on the Moose, looked nothing but mediocre, especially last season, having, in my opinion, a pretty bad decline from where he was the year before. And again, this is just past stuff in my opinion, right? And I know he's better now, but let's be real. We all thought Logan Stanley was borderline bust material going into this season, and a lot of us didn't really have a lot of faith in his progression to an NHL level defenseman. In his first 2 seasons in the AHL, his only 2 seasons in the AHL, 73 games played in his first season as a rookie in the AHL 2018-19, 6 goals, 16 assists, 22 points. Now you might be thinking, well, that's not bad for a guy who was, a third pairing, not such a good defensive guy in the AHL, but you have to remember that he was a -9 and a -17 the year after that. Defensively, he has never been really anything special on the Moose, and it really showed. And if anything, his defensive game got worse over time as he played his second year in 2019-20 with the Moose. 44 games played, 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points, and like I said, a -17. So definitely a drop-off defensively. He was not very good defensively in his own end, and when he comes into this year, something a lot of Jets fans would like to point out is the fact that Logan Stanley has been really good defensively, and they like to talk about how he's been good in this area and how he doesn't look like he's a turnover and all this blah blah blah. But the thing is that Logan Stanley has played very sheltered minutes, and this is what brings the whole Dylan DeMelo and Logan Stanley and just the two players, how they play, it come colliding together, and that is the fact that Logan Stanley is very much sheltered in his role with the Winnipeg Jets on that third pairing, and Dylan DeMelo is the main reason why he looks as good as he does defensively. When you take a quick look at just Dylan DeMelo's advanced stats, you can just see just how good he is in his defensive zone at doing the little things correctly, and how the little things he does correctly defensively turn into offensive opportunities for the Winnipeg Jets. He is without a doubt one of the most underrated defensive defensemen in the NHL because of the fact that his stuff he does on the ice doesn't really necessarily turn into points. When you go look at Dylan DeMelo's point history in the NHL, so far in his career, he's had 307 games played between the Winnipeg Jets, San Jose Sharks, and the Ottawa Senators. And with all of that being said, 307 games played, 7 goals, 62 assists for 69 points. Now you might be thinking, 69 points isn't horrible for a defensive defenseman in 307 7 games. You're right, but you have to go and look at his goal numbers, and that's where it gets a bit concerning. 7 goals is not what you want to see, especially from a guy who for the last 3 years has not scored a goal in the NHL. From 2019 to 2021, he has not scored a goal in the NHL. And then the year before that in Ottawa, he was able to score 4. And then the year prior to that, 0. So he's never been an offensive guy. So when I say that Dylan DeMelo contributes to the offense and how they are able to flow with the puck and just progress with it through the neutral zone, it is because of how he is able to do the little things in his own end and in the neutral zone that help benefit the rush. We all know how important benefiting the rush can be for a team trying to win a Stanley Cup. Look at every team that has won within the last 5 years. Having a very good, clean rush through the neutral zone from their own end, a good transition game to the offensive zone, is something that every team needs to have. Puck movement is vital in today's NHL, and Dylan DeMelo provides a lot of good puck movement by creating really good lanes and whatnot to help move the puck up through the ice when he is doing his defensive stuff in his own end and doing what he does best. And now at this point in the video, we get to thank our beautiful, beautiful sponsors over at Manscaped. The support for this channel is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. Now we have some big news that Manscaped likes to share with you guys today, and that is the fact that Manscaped has just launched in Canada. For those listening in Canada, you guys can be some of the first Canadians to experience their life-changing products. Now you don't want your family jewels looking like Matthew Perot's hair, do you? Now of course you don't. That's a silly question. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team performed the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and that is the Lawnmower 3.0. Their 3rd generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade that reduces grooming accidents, which is one of the most important things you would want out of an electric hair trimmer. Now, the battery will last you up to 90 minutes, so you can take a longer shave. The waterproofing technology allows you to take the grooming into the shower, which is something that we all want to be able to do. And one of the coolest features this product has is the fact that it has an LED light, which illuminates the grooming areas for you for closer precision trimming. Now, if you are listening to me still right now, I want you guys to go out right now and pick yourselves up some of the amazing products that Manscaped has to offer. Trim that junk of yours. Treat it right. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you use code PEGCityHockey at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Trust me. Now, that's get 20% off and free shipping with code PEGCityHockey at manscaped.com. 20% in free shipping. You can't beat that. This is an amazing offer. Definitely go check it out. And thank you to the amazing people at Manscaped for giving this channel the opportunity and giving us the opportunity to be sponsored by you. Couldn't be happier to be part of this company with an amazing brand and an amazing product. And without any further ado, let's jump back into today's video. Now, getting back to the fact that Dylan DeMelo obviously is a great player does sneaky little things defensively that helps contribute to the rush. Now, I could go on and on about how and dissecting, his game and what type of player he is and all the little things he does that contributes well to the Jets and how they play the game and just how he contributes to the offensive rush and stuff, as I've just been talking about. But what I want to focus on now is the fact that Logan Stanley, although being the more exciting player, the rookie, the first-round pick that a lot of people didn't see breaking in, the story behind him and whatnot, I can see why this hype train and this, the fan base, mostly of a lot of the fan base, let's be real, a lot of people are torn about this, think that Logan Stanley is the better option to protect. And a lot of other people like to think that exposing Dylan DeMelo, and I was on this train at the start of the season, not going to lie, exposing Dylan DeMelo because of his contract for $3 million and bringing in somebody better might be a good play as well. But let me ask you this. If you actually sought to see the best version of Dylan DeMelo and how much better he makes everyone around him in a top 4 role consistently with Josh Morrissey or hell, even with Neil Pionk or with anywhere in that top 4, I think your opinions would be changed. What this all comes back to is the fact that Paul Maurice is currently using Dylan DeMelo in a sheltered role with Logan Stanley, and it's not a coincidence that both of those players on that pairing are up for discussion now on which player the Jets should protect. And that is because of the fact that Dylan DeMelo is so underrated and does so many little things correctly that when he's on a third pairing with a young rookie defenseman that makes mistakes, turns over the puck, and isn't as fast and consistent with his feet and moving up with the play, because of that, Logan Stanley is able to be, if not boosted his overall play because of what Dylan DeMelo brings to the ice every night. Dylan DeMelo is so good at the little sneaky things that make you a successful defenseman in the NHL that he progresses and pushes forward the development, and even not just how maybe overrated that Logan Stanley has become. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Logan Stanley, like I've said a lot of times in this video, but Logan Stanley isn't Dylan DeMelo, and if the Jets are trying to compete for a cup now, it might not be the best decision to expose a guy like DeMelo for when you have him under contract for the next 2 years, a guy who plays well with his team, who wants to be here, and have that type of issue. Now, we're going to be talking a lot more in the next video, dissecting exactly what players are going to be exposed and which guys will be protected and whatnot, because there's a lot of finite details that go into an expansion draft, as we all know. A lot of our young guys are going to be able to be for exposure, but now because of the fact that Jansen Harkins is playing more games, he might work his way into the list of being unprotected and exposed. So what does that mean there? We'll be talking about that in the next video, where we discuss about all the entirety of the expansion draft and the Winnipeg Jets' overall take and direction that they will be taking with it going into the offseason after the playoffs. Now, let me know your thoughts about this topic down in the description below. What team are you guys on? Are you on the low gang hype? Are you want to keep in DeMelo? Which player would you rather see protected in a 3 defenseman type of situation like we most likely will see? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, thank you so much again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. It does mean so much to me that you guys would come out and reach out to me and bring me in as a sponsor, so thank you so much for that, and I hope you guys enjoy and use that coupon code, because Manscaped has some amazing products. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're a fan of the Winnipeg Jets, a fan of hockey regardless of the team you root for, definitely consider dropping a subscription below, as we are en route to that 1K subscriber mark and could use any of your support, and it is greatly appreciated. Follow all my socials down in the description below. As always, make sure to leave your comment on your thoughts about this whole discussion, and I will see you guys in the next video very, very soon. Peace, love, and positivity as always. Go Jets, go, and bye.